Hello, this is Pixel Freak, and tonight I'm taking a look at Broken Sword: Shadow of the Templars. So this is not quite a first look. I'll play this game just briefly, but it's not really a review because I haven't played the game long enough. This is a demo, and this game is a point-and-click adventure game that was part of the Humble Bundle that just came out this afternoon. If you're not sure what a Humble Bundle is, give it a Google. You'll figure it out. It's basically this charity thing where you can donate a few bucks and you get a whole bunch of really good games for Android, and you get some Steam keys, and a lot of times you get soundtracks, and pretty cool deal. Go check it out. Anyways, let's go ahead and jump into a new game, and you'll see how this game works. There's quite the intro on this one, so let's go ahead and watch this intro.
And dreams. So they say. I used to say it too, but ever since that day, the day of the murder, I've always associated my beloved Paris with death.
So it's interesting here, the art direction, and this is an animated game. The art direction very much reminds me of like a late 70s, early 80s cartoon. I think that's kind of the way they were going.
I was at home having a bath when my editor called.
Collard, get your ass over to the Palais Royal now. You got an interview. With Pierre Carchon. Yes, the Pierre Carchon. No photos, so leave your gear at home. He asked for you personally. Don't ask me why. Anyhow, this could be big, so if he makes a pass, don't forget. Just smile, say yes, and keep taking notes.
So charming and so very apt. Pierre Carchon was a media king, a national hero, and one of the most infamous adulterers in Europe. He and his wife Imelda were just one step down from royalty. Whoa, I hate mimes, but unless you humor them, they don't go away. Here I was, the palace of the Media King and the Ice Queen. I pressed the doorbell and set in motion a chain of events which would change my life forever.
Yes? What is it?
Madame, my name is Nico Collard. I'm here to see Monsieur Carchon.
Come up, we're on the first floor.
Madame Carchon, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Yes, I'm sure.
The Ice Queen was certainly living up to her reputation. Will you be staying for the interview?
Mademoiselle, I know little of my husband's business affairs, and I care even less. I certainly have no intention of watching him pore over yet another pretty little journalist.
Pretty? You're too kind, madame.
Ah, the talented and very beautiful Mademoiselle Collard. Such a pleasure to meet you at last.
Monsieur Carchon, I am honored.
Oh, I'm sure you are.
Call me Pierre, please. But I do not flatter you idly. I was a friend of your father. He was a great man.
My father, he never mentioned.
He and I were very close. And then his death. So tragic. I must... Imelda, your damned cat's in my study again. Another Ming vase, I suppose. Excuse me for one moment, my dear girl.
You journalists are getting younger each year.
Perhaps it's the rest of the world getting older, madame. That was no cat.
My God! What? Monsieur Carchon!
He's dead. I must call the police. You'd better stay here.
There was a man. It was the mime. Do you think he...
Well, I believe we can rule out suicide, don't you?
No wonder they called her the Ice Queen. She would have been top of my list of suspects if I hadn't seen the attacker myself. And if I hadn't come across a couple of murders just like this already. One of the most important men in Europe murdered. And here was I, Nico Coulard, alone at the scene of the crime. Should I wait for the cops? Or start my own investigation? It was a no-brainer.
All right, so there you go. We are starting. So the game, you can see, is very much animated. You point, and she walks to where you want to go. You can see there's the little blinking dots here. If you highlight your finger over those, it'll tell you what kind of actions you have. There's a little statue here I can look at. The curtains I can interact and look at. The statue here, I can look at that. Let's go ahead and look at the dead body first.
Mimes and guns don't usually go together, but I had an idea that this was no ordinary mime. I'd come across this murderer before, and written about him. The costume killer, at least that's what I'd called him. A bust of Pierre Cauchon, humble servant of La France. You had to end it to the Ice Queen. She sure knew her fabrics. A small round piece of glass had been cut out of the pane. This was a professional job.
So you can see the game plays a lot like Myst would. Only with Myst, I know it was more of a first-person game, and there wasn't actually really any animation going on, or at least not to this extent. But it's the same. It's the same deal. And what's really interesting, I find, is the story seems relatively captivating, even from an early perspective. You know, it'll suck you in right away. Let's go ahead and take a look at that table.
A Louis XIV table with an antique cloth. Imelda had taste. But hey, with a husband that rich, taste is easy. I reckoned that cloth might just turn out to be useful.
Ooh, there's a hole.
There was a tiny hole in the tabletop. Part of the inlay had been chipped away.
So that's kind of interesting.
Even my fingernail wouldn't fit into such a small hole.
Doesn't look that small. Oops. Oh, that's interesting. How do I put the book away? Doesn't seem to be anything in the interface that'll allow me to do so. Okay, let's go with the back button. The back button worked. I always hate using the back button in games that I'm not familiar with, because who knows if I'm going to actually close the game on myself. Come on now, walk over here.
Imelda had talent, but I certainly wasn't going to tell her that. It was a tube of acrylic paint. French ultramarine. Just the color I was after for my bathroom.
I'm sorry, I have to go. Someone is...
Stealing your paint, that's right.
Young lady, what are you
Stealing your paint,
doing?
lady.
Oh, this paint. It's my
And
favorite
so I'm
color.
stealing it.
For God's sake, keep the damn stuff.
That's right. I wonder...
Even my fingernail wouldn't fit into such a small...
I was thinking maybe I could put the paint in there. So this game's been out for a while on PC. You can play it on, I think it's available via Steam. So you'll probably get a Steam key in the Humble Bundle, and so you'll be able to play it for sure there. but I know it's been out for a while.
Imelda looked shocked, but still every bit as hostile.
Nonetheless, it's I haven't played this game, but I'm interested in it now.
Excuse me, madame.
Yes?
Oh wow, here's an interesting. So I'm assuming I can talk about all these different items. So let's talk about the paint first.
The last thing she needed to talk about
No, she needs
was
to talk about paint. Okay, seriously, this is important paint. Let's talk about the tablecloth.
You're upset, madame. Please take this.
That is the lace cloth from the table. What can
I'm
you
thinking
be
you
thinking?
need that cloth. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, fine. I will continue to steal it. Let's talk about the
Why
mime.
would a mime want to kill your husband?
Pierre had plenty of enemies. Half the husbands in Paris for a start.
Who's that guy?
How did your husband know
that's
my
her father.
father?
I have no idea.
You didn't know him? Thierry Collard?
Pierre knew a lot of people I didn't know, most of them women.
That lady is smug.
I am so sorry for your loss, madame.
No, you're not. You're a journalist. Journalists don't feel sorry.
Not true.
We shall see.
Why did your husband send for me? What did he want to discuss?
I have no idea. His business was his business.
He never told you anything.
No, and frankly, I preferred it that way. This is quite a scoop for you. I suppose you're already inventing the headlines.
Just because I am a journalist.
Don't patronize me. You're all cut from the same cloth. Do you have any moral sense at all?
Oh, interesting. Moral decision. Let's say no.
I certainly don't let it get in the way
That's
of a good
right.
story.
I admire your loyalty to your profession.
The police will be here soon, madame. Is there anybody you would like me to contact? Family, friends?
No. I
And
have
now
no
I'm going to
family.
stab you.
Pierre and I were... He was all I had, really. Not much, was it? The dutiful wife. That was my role. He never talked, never let me in.
I know one thing, madame.
What?
If you want to find out who killed your husband, then you let me do the job, not the police.
Why? How do I know I can trust you?
I'm evil.
Because you have no choice. The police will take weeks, in which time your own life may be in danger.
What?
Believe me, this killer has struck before, and he will strike again. Who is to know that you are not next on his list?
I don't know.
All I need is a few more minutes to look around before the police come.
I think perhaps you do have a moral sense. Of sorts. You're not a very good liar, Nico Collard. And I share your low opinion of the police. Here, take this. It's the key to the drawing room next to the library at the end of the hall. It was Pierre's room. I rarely went in there. I couldn't. I was too scared of what I might
And
find.
I'm excited for what I might find. Let's do it.
Thank you. I promise you won't regret this.
No, she's going to regret it. Which way do I go? Hey, the phone. I can interact with the phone. Let's make a phone call.
There was no one I needed to phone. Not until I had solved this case. I thought of leaving, but was sure there was more to find.
I always love when they give you options that you can't actually use.
The door was locked.
And that's why I have the key, right?
A fine Baroque door. It would look great in my apartment. The door.
I must have got a different key. Let's go back in here.
Pierre Carchon was stiff for the last time.
Ooh, look at that. You're funny.
Some people hate searching corpses for clues. Me, I'm okay with it. Reminds me of an old
I
boyfriend.
think that's a Cheeto. Let's get that Cheeto. Definitely a Cheeto. Pick up the Cheeto.
In his pocket, I found a ticket stamped Bateau de la Conciergerie.
No, that was a Cheeto.
Taking the ticket meant I tampered with the evidence. There was no going back now.
Oh, stealing Cheetos. What's that?
It was one of my hair clips. My favorite, in fact. It must have fallen when I was knocked down. His lifeless eyes stared blank. I closed his eyes. It was the least I could do for the poor fellow.
Yeah, because that matters. Aww. Unfortunately, you cannot interact with his crotch.
Carchon had been shot.
Congratulations. You pointed out the obvious. Okay. Oh, that's the door, huh? That can't be the door.
The killer must have used a ladder to reach the window. He was long gone. Guess he folded that ladder up, popped it in his pocket, and took it with him.
Right. Okay. Let's go back and see what that lady had said.
Madame Carchon,
Please call me Imelda. We hardly need the formalities now, do we?
I want to know more about that.
I needed to open the drawing room door before giving Imelda back the key.
Right, where's that at?
Would you like to see my favorite egg?
What a ridiculous question. Of course not.
Check it out.
Another time, I guess.
I got a Cheeto.
So, her husband took secret boat trips. Did she really need to
Yes,
see
she
the
does.
ticket?
Look at the Cheeto, lady. Look at it.
Did Monsieur Carchon say nothing to you about my father?
No. I'm sorry. He
It
never
doesn't look a
mentioned
Cheeto
it.
anymore, though. Not in my inventory. Only looks like a Cheeto when it's on dead people.
I was sure that there was more to find.
Okay. Drawing room door. It's not that front door, because that front door is telling me to go away. It's not that. It must be this door here.
The door. A fine Baroque door.
Congratulations. Inventory, huh? Dang it.
The door was locked.
There we go. You gotta drag items out of your
Now
inventory.
we were getting
Yeah, we
somewhere.
are. You poke the door to open it. Anyways, so you get the idea here. I don't want to play this too long and drag this video out, but it's a point and click adventure mystery game. You can see the plot. There's a dead guy. You got to solve this. I've heard good things so far about this game. I definitely like the art direction. I mean, it could be a little bit better. One of the bad things that I've found here is that it's definitely scaled to my device. They don't have multiple resolutions programmed in or whatever would make it look perfect for my device. It's not that bad, so I'm willing to accept the little off that it looks. But another one that I'm pretty optimistic to play. I hope I get a chance for this one. It does seem like this one's going to be a bit of a longer game. Anyways, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and until next time, this has been Pixel Freak.